Welcome back to Stache Club Wrestling. My name is John.
And me, I'm Jimmy.
Today, we are looking at what could possibly be, according to some fans, according to you out there on the internet, what could be possibly the worst case scenarios for WrestleMania 41. Again, we asked you on Twitter. You sent in a bunch of responses. We're going to go through them, see what we agree with, what we disagree with. Please leave comments with what you agree with and disagree with. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Wrestling. Support the channel. Get a bonus wrestling Q&A podcast over there. We got merchandise in the description and also a Fanatics affiliate link if you want to get some WWE gear ahead of WrestleMania. All of those things help out the channel so much. We really appreciate it. With that said, Jimmy, let's start picking through some responses and see what could possibly, potentially be the worst case scenarios for WrestleMania 41. At the time of this video coming out in like a week at this point, WrestleMania 41 happened in 7 days or
Creeping up.
Crazy. All right, first one here with 38 likes, the top one from Eli. Worst case scenario would be if Rhea wins the triple threat and walks out as champion. Rhea needs to turn heel and not be a champion for a while. Whoa. I've seen the internet turn on Rhea over the past, I don't know, I'd say 1 or 2 months or whatever. I don't know. I'm curious where you stand. I'm never gonna hate on Rhea. Sure, am I rooting for Io Sky? 1000%. I don't know if the worst case scenario is Rhea winning.
I mean, I don't know. I get it. The whole Rhea Hogan shtick and this and that.
I don't even think that's true. I don't know where that's come from all of a sudden. I don't know. Sure, she wins a lot. She's just so talented and she's pushed and she's a great world champion. And then now people are just, I don't know, not to interrupt you. People are just, I don't know. I do not understand people turning on Rhea. I really don't.
I feel like it has a lot to do with the passionate of these women's fan bases, right? And it gets so, not I guess tribalistic, but just like, very like
there's stands. There's different stands.
Yes, different stands. And the worst case would Rhea winning the triple threat. What do you not like to have fun? I mean, Rhea's awesome. But I can kind of see the point of view of like turning her an actual heel. I think she's been faced though, and like the removement from the Judgment Day hasn't been so long, and she is like just such a megastar and has the in ring, has so much appeal. I don't know. I don't feel like that's going to be such a bad thing. I will say I think it's sort of the most unlikely thing to happen. I'd say that for sure. I think if
in the triple threat specifically,
yeah, I think Io was going to win. I've been touting that for weeks on the show.
See, I want Io to win.
Me too.
I don't know if Io's
really
winning. I would say I honestly think Rhea's not best case scenario. I think Rhea's most likely to win. I really do.
Well, but
in the case of people, on the flip side, people calling her Rhea Hogan.
Yeah.
It doesn't help her case or whatever, but I do think she's going to win.
A little factoid to that I recently learned was Bianca's undefeated at WrestleMania. I feel like you might want to keep that going. And
they don't give a shit about that. They don't get Asuka lost her streak. They don't give a shit.
Oh, well, I'm sure no one gave a shit about The Undertaker when he was facing Giant Gonzalez, but then once you realize, oh shit, we're at WrestleMania, 18 it was?
I want them to give a shit about it. Believe me, I want them to care about it. Having a Bianca WrestleMania run would be awesome. I just don't know how much emphasis
a new WrestleMania streak. I think the only one that's a kind of alive still is like RVD, who's 4-0, and RVD's kind of past his prime. I don't know. I don't think it'd be such a bad thing if Rhea wins. She's awesome and definitely one of my favorite wrestlers.
She's also like one of the most classic cases of like she's still a badass. You could even like her attitude is kind of a bad guy, but she's like you're wearing the scarf similar to an MJF where like people like these heels so much and they're funny, they're charismatic, like they have a look, whatever.
Yeah.
Whether Rhea is face or heel, whatever, she's gonna get cheered unless you do something to her. And I don't think beating Bianca or Io is enough to like even turn her heel. This might be another case of like Jey Uso where the internet is all of a sudden not happy with them, but then they get the biggest chants in the arena and the biggest reactions.
Sells the most merch, and like I think the term is tweener. I think a better example could be Stone Cold. Like Stone Cold would come out, be on the mic and be kind of mean and aggressive to his opponents, but people love that, ate it up. And I think Rhea is right now in a point of her character where she kind of can just be herself, which is a badass goth chick that just kicks ass and takes names.
I guess we spent most of this one kind of disagree. I will give a little credit to like I do understand where they're coming from, where it's like it is almost getting to a point like Rhea wins, LOL. Sure, like I get it. Again, us on this couch are rooting for Io Io Sky. So like at bare minimum, do we want Rhea to win? Not necessarily. I just don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world. But I slightly see where you're coming from. But I ultimately do disagree with the internet that they're over Rhea.
I agree.
All right, next one here. Worst case scenario from Pro Wrestling Roundup. Cena loses clean, shakes Cody's hand, and goes back to being a good guy and finishes his retirement tour. I think this is a great one. I think this would suck.
It would absolutely suck.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it happening though. And let me tell you why.
I don't think it's crazy.
I go back to like The Rock kind of being now the guy in charge, right? Not kayfabe. Like I think what the reports was like I think he originally wanted Cody to turn heel, and
yeah, actually, I saw stuff about that.
So whether that's true or not, I feel like this kind of Cena heel turn was kind of like out of nowhere, where they kind of just like they ran it by Cena. Cena was like, of course, company guy, let's do it. We've kind of talked about it on the show where it's like, okay, now Cena, if he does win at Mania, post Mania, he's not going to be there too often. Like the championship not being on the show isn't a good thing, and Cody, being the company's number one guy, and him being the one that ended Roman Reigns' longest reign ever. Like I could see this happening, and I made the comparison to what happened with WrestleMania X8, when the big epic match of Rock versus Hogan. Hogan came in as a heel, NWO. That was only from NWO, but No Way Out until WrestleMania, where they did the turn there. So like I know this monumental Cena heel run means a lot to people, but at the same time, I feel like we're dwindling down for Cena's career, and I personally want him to win 17 as a good guy.
Yeah, because I just don't know how confident they are in a heel Cena title run. Like, yeah, I mean, again, I was skeptical about everything, in terms like, people were even skeptical about, how's a Cena heel run gonna go? And it's proven to go very well. Sure, he's not on TV as much. He will be on SmackDown though, thank God.
Nice, I did see that. Yeah, so I was wrong, but and also it would kind of explain why he hasn't done a new look, a new theme song, because why go out through all that effort, and how important that would be if you're just gonna do a face turn right before he retires. So like maybe that could have played a part. I know he explained it why he in kayfabe why he didn't have a new look or theme song, but I think that could also be like, shoot wise, like down the road we're gonna have Cena win 17 perhaps as a face down the road, because I don't think they wanted to have Cody lose the title yet. I don't, and I'm trust me, as a big Cody fan, I don't want him to lose either. So
I don't know. It's kind of the bigger question, like, what do you think's going to even happen? And But going back just the bare bones of it, Cena loses clean, shakes Cody's hand. Yes, even just like shaking Cody's hand, giving him the respect, and like, there would have to be so much like, okay, what was the Rock thing? Because the Rock stuff is still pretty like not explained. There'd be a lot to happen in that match to make it justified to me. Like we built so much with Cena being heel, and I do agree that like, by the time he retires, he's going to retire as a face. There's no shot he retires as a heel. I think that would be crazy if he does. If this happens, I do think it would be just a waste of what was a couple of months build and a really exciting turn and new iteration of Cena that they're just like would throw away if this happens.
I totally agree that it would kind of suck and feel like a waste. But I go back to Rock Hogan X8 and how short-lived the Hogan return heel run. The thing is too, people still love John Cena. So like say what you want, but like people still are cheering this bad guy, right? Yeah. So like, is he even
kind of though? Are they? There's a lot of boos.
Yeah, but that's the thing with John. He's always been a polarizing figure, and even if he would never turned heel, the theme song "Cena Sucks" like that still would have rang through arenas because people love to sing along and love to. His theme song has become the Kurt Angle.
You think
he
would have gotten "Cena Sucks" chance if he was healed, face this whole time during his retirement tour?
Just in the theme song, because again, I think now his theme song has become so legendary where the crowd loves to sing along, and even like Kurt Angle when he comes back, people. You suck, and now Kurt kind of has to acknowledge that and kind of point to the crowd, and
that's endearing. I think that's endearing.
It's endearing.
Like the Cena one, people genuinely were like, "You can't wrestle." But
I'm saying if he were to never turn heel, I still think when he comes out to My Time Is Now, people would say, "Oh, see, John Cena sucks."
Oh wow, that's what I hard disagree
because that's what they're used to. I mean, that's just my opinion, but
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so next one, worst case scenario for WrestleMania 41 would be if for some unknown reason everyone retains their titles. Wholeheartedly agree. I know the first three we were kind of like chatting and discussing and like, this person's wrong. This one, I wholeheartedly agree this would be worst case scenario. WrestleMania is the culmination of stories. Sure, there needs to be some retains, but like imagine if we come out of like this WrestleMania 41 with like Gunther whether for better or for worse. Gunther keeps it, Cody keeps it, Tiffany keeping it would be pretty sweet. The more I'm talking it out, the more kind of cool it sounds. I do want Gunther to win also.
I'm kind of thinking that's all like things that I currently kind of want, which is because I know WrestleMania, it's a time for big like title wins and changes, whatever. But like for me personally, who I'm rooting for, I'm kind of like in the camp of like this would actually kind of rule. Plus, it would kind of be unexpected. I think for the most part. Given though, LA Knight retaining would kind of suck. I think the women's tag title should move, but that's kind of
like Braun Breaker retaining isn't the worst thing in the world. I do want to see something new. Like seeing any of those other men with it would be cool, but like Braun retaining isn't the craziest thing in the world.
But as a now Braun Breaker being my favorite wrestler, I want this IC title.
I want you to retain. Fuck.
Yeah, but I want Braun Breaker. I want him to now be in the world title picture.
Yeah,
so him retaining actually would, as a fan of his, would actually kind of stink.
For this, it's funny. For this, now that we're talking about it, like for this Mania specifically, I like all the current champions.
Yeah, me too.
But I still agree, because as a whole, like if we come out of it and it's like whether we're disappointed, like that's part of wrestling. You're supposed to be disappointed with some results and happy about other results. Like I do still think it would be lame if everyone retains. Sure. Like I do think most of the titles will get changed at Mania.
Because then technically you could be like, I could have missed this WrestleMania and nothing changed.
Yeah,
right?
You don't want that. Right. But I like this take. I agree with this.
Yeah. WrestleMania is the time to create moments, and title defenses aren't technically the best moments, right? But
all right, another one I wholeheartedly agree with, to be honest with you. If Charlotte Flair beats Tiffany Stratton clean. Yeah, and again, I'm not just gonna jump on the Charlotte Flair train. I do think Charlotte Flair gets a little too much hate, but I think a lot of her criticism is also deserved. Also, Tiffany, I don't know, we've been talking about this. Tiffany is the new star. It sucks that it seems like Charlotte is kind of just ready to beat Tiffany and get the next title, whatever. But like Tiffany needs this win like a billion times more than Charlotte. Charlotte does not need this. I don't know. Did you see that in the I forget if Tiffany was on an interview where she made some statement where she was talking about the segment with Charlotte, and they were talking about, people going off script and whatever, and Tiffany was just like, Charlotte went off script, and she was like, I don't think Charlotte was expecting me to kind of bat back, you know? So I don't know. I agree. I think this would be a worst case scenario outcome for WrestleMania for sure. I wouldn't want to see this.
I totally agree. I'm definitely in the camp of rooting for Tiffy, and she definitely needs this win. Where I agree the most with this take is the clean part of it.
Yes.
Given like Charlotte doesn't have like a manager to cheat for her or whatever, but she definitely is now the heel, and whether it be her, I think there's potential for Charlotte to win. I sort of think she might win.
Oh yeah, and I do think she's gonna win.
And I am someone that sees the bigger picture where again these women could probably, for the next 3 pay-per-views over the course of the next 3 months, have great pay-per-view matches and have a long feud, because this feud to me is just starting. But yeah, the clean part of this kind of really rings on. I think you could do the figure 8, and maybe the ref doesn't see Charlotte gaining leverage with the ropes, or kind of crazy, but brass knucks or whatever. Maybe Charlotte, the dirtiest player in the game, be like your daddy, and if she is booked to win, let's be creative and keep Tiffany strong with a kind of a dirty finish.
I agree. Like I flat out, I'm pretty much coming from I don't want to see Charlotte win, but I agree. That's the even bigger point is winning clean. I think that'd be a disservice to Tiffany, and I don't know. I can see it happening though. Yeah, unfortunately.
Me too.
All right, another worst case scenario for WrestleMania 41. Travis Scott interferes in the Cena Cody match and leads to Cena winning 17. As much as we've talked about and debated, like the Cena Cody stuff, regardless, this to me is worst case scenario. If Travis Scott leads to the conclusion of this match in the main event, I'll lose my mind. Fair enough.
But did you see him post Raw Netflix in the back saying I want to start wrestling. I'm gonna buy a ring, so maybe you could see Travis Scott the wrestler. Let me say that, because again, I totally agree this would be terrible. But let me say this right now for WWE logic and booking, long-term storyline. That's what we love, right? Long-term booking, this and that. Travis Scott goes to interfere in the match. Who comes out for the save for Cody? Jon Stewart. A little run back from SummerSlam 2015 when Jon Stewart cost Cena the title. That feud, keep that feud going. Shout out Jon Stewart. How about that?
Sure, I would. If we're going full tilt, full crazy, fuck it. Throw Johnny Knoxville in there for no reason as well.
The history, Kevin Federline too. Let's get all the celebrities that Cena has interacted with.
Keep Travis Scott as far away from this. The Rock is for some reason as far away from this match as he possibly could.
Right.
That should not be happening. We don't need Travis Scott to end up being an actual point in this.
Yeah.
If anything.
Don't have him contribute to the ending of the physical match. If he has to be out there with say Cena wins and celebration.
Be out there. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Even I would take Travis comes out. I honestly like this. Maybe like's a strong word. Travis comes out and Cody maybe gets one in on Travis, a little payback.
He has the receipt coming. That slap was a bit tough, dude.
At minimum, are you fine with that? But
Yeah.
I don't disagree. This is worst case
Travis
scenario.
Scott, you want to be in this business, and you got that really cheap shot in that Cody busted his eardrum. You're due for a receipt. So let's see that receipt in this WrestleMania match. Let's go.
All right, this next worst case scenario is Roman Reigns winning thanks to some Paul Heyman action in the match and stacking both Seth and Punk for the pin. I don't disagree. And I'm not a Roman hater. I'm not a Roman wins LOL sort of whatever guy. There's so much more that's led up to this in terms of, Paul Heyman turning on Roman, Paul Heyman siding with Punk, Paul Heyman maybe siding with Seth, CM Punk or Seth Rollins winning a main event that's not Roman Reigns winning a main event. I think it would be so easy and so lazy to default back to like Bloodline Roman wins. Haha, he's siding with Paul Heyman. Nothing happens. Like this would be if nothing progresses in the match,
I'm kind of right there with you. Although I do love the callback for the stack and
love
pin.
A stack.
Yeah, they printed those shirts. I love those shirts, and I just love the egotistical heel, putting both men, pinning both men. And if Roman were to
the way he would bury Punk and Seth,
so and again, we've talked about it now. I think we're kind of in the camp of like Seth deserves this. It would make
Seth wins.
It'd be the more compelling outcome, or of course, this whole storyline centered around Punk getting his main event. I think Punk winning would be also pretty cool. So Roman, to me, unfortunately, I love Roman Reigns, but him winning in general would kind of be.
He does not make
silly.
sense to win it.
Yeah, and then of course
really
Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman staying loyal to Roman because this thing has been about loyalty, so it kind of would make sense, but it would kind of stink a little.
Our next one, it wouldn't ruin the entire show, but Jade versus Naomi ending up as a squash match would be disappointing. I agree. Especially, I think the news came out, or it was whatever. Not news. It's a statistic that this is the first women's one-on-one singles match for no title in the history of WrestleMania. Again, I don't know how much they're leaning on that history fact, but yeah, I love Naomi. I think she's one of the most underrated. I'm curious to see how Jade has improved. Like again, it'd be so boring if we just get like Jade strong, Jade wins, and we don't see much like wrestling from Jade, which is what we all want.
JB, you're my boy. Prepare to be disappointed.
You think it's gonna be a squash?
I think it's gonna be a squash.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Unfortunately, I just don't know if Jade can go for too long. It would be super disappointing too because it kind of would bury Naomi. But yeah, I think this will be a squash. I think this will be a Jade win. I think the entrance might be longer than the match. That's my hot take.
See, I just think like I don't even disagree.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. We're so past the point of Jade being like Jade's still new-ish for sure. But I think we're past the point of like Jade's this new unstoppable force. I want to start seeing her have wrestling matches.
Sure.
I want to start seeing her versus like some Chris Statlander TBS championship sort of matches.
Maybe this could be a test for her too. Because
that's
again,
what I'm hoping.
Now this is like we're giving you a prominent WrestleMania match.
It is WrestleMania. I don't think you should be testing on WrestleMania. This should be this should be the match. You know what I mean?
I'm saying if they say like, hey, Jade, Naomi, you guys are going to go 10 minutes, and Jade, if she kind of it'd be a test in the sense that she'd kind of perhaps, I hope not, but maybe expose herself as someone that can't go in the ring or maybe has not the best match going with Naomi, who's proven to be a great worker. This could be kind of like, okay, let's see, because a lot of things leading up to this, I guess I've seen reports like Jade has a lot of backstage heat, so this could be a thing if she doesn't perform well at WrestleMania, like maybe stop this big mega push. But I look at Jade as kind of like the Goldberg, and where Goldberg, I know it's kind of a very silly comparison, but just in the sense of like Goldberg, when he's at his best is when he does a squash match, and you get that really cool highlight spear and jackhammer, and that's that, and the crowd goes nuts.
See, but I think Jade can wrestle. You
think so? Okay.
Especially like her, like the ending of her AEW run.
Yeah.
Like she is miles ahead from when she started in AEW. But like I think we can have a legit wrestling match. I don't know why we're afraid to have Jade wrestle.
Right.
if we're gonna keep on going down this path of her being a Goldberg, do like, if you want to do that, sure. Then I understand the squash match, and I'm honestly happy with the squash match. But I do think we're past the boat here of having Jade be this like one spear finishes the match and like whatever. I want to see Jade wrestle. I want,
I appreciate that.
And if she ends up proving maybe not as improved or as in-ring technical as we thought or had hoped, then like fine, let that be that.
Another thing I'll say too, not including NXT Stand and Deliver, which is also this weekend, there's 14 projected matches. I mean, I think one or two of them has to be.
It would be crazy.
Storyline squash or just a shorter match in general, but
All right, last one for the day. Worst case scenario for WrestleMania 41 would be if Logan Paul beats AJ Styles. I think, again, this isn't predictions. I think maybe get ready for this worst case scenario.
Yeah.
God, AJ should win. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't give a shit about this match, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
I think it'll be fun.
Yes.
I don't know where I lie. I don't know. Do you have a hard stance at all? I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle.
I mean, yeah, without giving my prediction too much, but yeah, I think you're going to be a bit disappointed because, just on the optics of, again, AJ is a longtime veteran. Logan's still very young. I'm sure they have big plans for him in the future. And like, why would you kind of have this guy, AJ Styles, who's at the tail end of his career, get this win over a young guy, Logan Paul? But yeah, it
also could be like AJ's swan song, and traditionally you go on your back looking at the lights.
Sure.
Granted, is Logan Paul the guy I wanted AJ Styles to put over in his retirement match? Maybe not. But
tell you what, though, I would love to see AJ do a run in AEW and just
sure. I've heard that rumor.
Put on some bangers.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could see Logan. I don't know. He's probably the favorite to win. I don't know. It's probably gonna be Logan. I don't think it's gonna be too long of a match. I don't think it's gonna be a squash or nothing necessarily. They'll do some high flying stuff. They'll both jump off they'll do a road to like Logan and Ricochet in the Rumble. They'll definitely like do a springboard something. It'll be fun. I'll have a good time. But
I love Styles in LA Knight last year. So I mean,
folks, those are some of your worst case scenarios for WrestleMania 41. If you have more or stuff that we missed or didn't touch upon, please leave those in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. While you're there, please leave your likes, leave your comments. Please make sure you subscribe, turn the bell for notifications. We'd appreciate it. Patreon.com/Stache Wrestling for the channel. Get a bonus wrestling the podcast. And then we have merch, and then was a Fanatics affiliate link. Blah blah blah. Plugs. All right, we'll see you for WrestleMania 41, folks. Thanks for being here. Peace.